Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk Sense. And yes, that is right, you do have that. I have purchased a Kilian fragrance, the Angel Share, more importantly, on the rocks. And I'll give you a bit of background as to why I purchased this and decided for this one over the others. And it's simply down to my personal taste. Now, first and foremost, I must say out of the bat, it is the 50 ml, so it's not the extra large one. I did splurge out, but not splurge out too much. I am still a little bit tight. But anyhow, I've been keeping my eye on this. I'm really wanting to get hold of it after smelling it in store. And not finding a clone or a dupe as of yet, November, December 2025. We haven't really got another alternative for the On the Rocks. Now, there's plenty out there in terms of dupes and clones for the original Angel Share, which I don't have, the original. I do have the Tafa Khamra Kawa, the coffee version, Latafa Khamra Dukhan, the smokier version. I don't have the original Latafa Khamra. There's also Angel Share Paradis, which I have the Latafa Fire and Ice, and I don't really appreciate that much. And even the Angel Share Paradis, it's a bit too boozy for me, a bit too sweet and cloying as well. And there's something plasticky about that I get from that DNA. This for me is where it's at. And there's a reason for it. If you haven't already known and checked out the notes, which I'll bring on screen soon, but I'll give my description of it, is that it's essentially a fresher, more uplifting, vibrant, also slightly cooling, fresh. I've used fresh twice there, but essentially there's that. It's a citrusy opening which has attached itself onto the atypical Angel Share DNA. So in the mid to the dry down, yes, you still get that Angel Share creaminess, caramelness, bit of tonka, woodiness, boozy cognacness. Yeah, you get that. But off the top, and that's where this shines for me. It's got a really vibrant citrus bergamot, mainly orange peel, orangeness, a bit of cooling ice aldehydes in there that really give you a smile, give me a smile, and I really appreciate that. Essentially, what it does is it takes that Angel Share DNA that so many people have cloned and known for some long, and just brings it into more of a modern, more youthful, energetic, appealing. Now, it's not juvenile in its smell at all. It's still very classy. And again, that's what I appreciate by Kilian, because they really get the mixtures right. I mean, from all of theirs, I don't think any of the clones or the dupes do it better than the OG. I've got to give it to Kilian. They're just so well blended, and the quality is certainly there to be smelt. They have a really unique range, and there are so many out there that people do tend to like. But this is the one that I really wanted to spend. It's my first Kilian. First time I've purchased it. Anyhow, let's get it open. You know what the presentation is like. It's frosted glass look, really quality presentation. I've sprayed it a few times already for the shorts, but let's try and avoid the watch, which today is the Seiko. Don't ask me what model number, but the blackout with an additional band. Yeah, a good sprayer. And I smell that already. I mean, I really appreciate this scent profile. Yeah, you get the citrusy oranginess off the top with that boozy cognac in the mid, and essentially you don't get much at all. So of the DNA from Angel Share till later. Anyway, so let's bring this back here. Sorry, I probably messed around with that playfulness of landscape and portrait, but we've got grapefruit, bergamot, bitter orange, Italian lemon, mandarin ice, and aldehydes off the top, which you definitely do get more of an orangey orange peel, slight bergamot and grapefruit, but it's got a cooling nature to it. It really does. It has a really beautiful cooling nature to it. Cognac, cinnamon, and caramel in the mid, tonka bean, oak, sandalwood, cashmere wood, and myrrh. So, oh yeah, and essentially there isn't a dupe out there as of yet that really tries to get close to this. There will be eventually. There's so many, so many Middle Eastern houses and dupe houses that are going for Kilian's Rangers, and Angel Share was probably the most duped of the bunch. They will eventually get this. They're doing parody at the moment. There's many of them. Again, waiting for this, but I couldn't let this go by. I really appreciate this. And the reason for my purchase is essentially I thought in my vast collection that seems to be getting bigger and bigger of scents, I don't have the original Kilian's Angel Share. I don't have a Kilian in my collection. It would be nice to add this to that. But I also was missing and really wanted a scent that I could use in all occasions. Just when you're really stuck and you've got a special occasion to go to, or whether you need to be a bit more dressed up and professional for a work event or a work do, whether it's a presentation you're delivering, attending an exhibition, going on an interview, so on and so forth. I'm getting to that point where I'm struggling. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'd love to wear this, but oh no, it's too pungent. Will it blow the person in the room, on their face? Will it be too much? Will it just drive them away? Or does it smell enough, especially for this time of year? And I think where I am at the moment in the winter, the cold winterness of the UK, you want something strong enough in some occasions. Yeah, you do want the really, really rich, gourmandy, really powerful fragrances to stand out this time of year. But sometimes, again, when you're transitioning from being outside to inside to an office environment or an enclosed environment, you don't want something to blow people away or put them off for too long. And that's where I think something like this really shines. You do smell it on yourself through the day. It's probably not going to be as much as a beast mode fragrance as some of the others. Longevity wise, when I did test it in store, it lasted me a good fair few hours on skin. I think it was up to 6 to 7, 8 hours, depending how much you spray, where you spray. I always say this, up to 8 hours. And it was there. It was really noticeable. It was there. Now, it wasn't projecting too much. It's probably less so than the typical Angel Share DNA because of the freshness of this, but it's still a good amount. Enough, really enough. It's not going to be a beast mode, but it's certainly going to be enough. So it's going to get you through the working day. Got me through that day that I tried it and sampled it pretty heavily in store. Actually, no, lightly in store, but it still lasted by the time I got home after the shopping day. And yeah, it's really nice. I'm really looking forward to using this. I will be using this more and more this week, so I will report back in terms of longevity, projection, and so on. But it will tick all my boxes. I'm looking forward to now going to work tomorrow on Monday at an exhibition that I have to be at, where I don't feel like I'll be thinking whether or not I've chose the right fragrance for the day, whether it, because I seem to have many fragrances that either blow, a beast mode and are really pungent and really strong. And then I'm thinking halfway through the day, oh, was that a great idea to do this? And maybe I've oversprayed, even though you can obviously level it out by spraying less. I am a bit of a heavy trigger person, so I do go heavy on the trigger, I have to admit. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this transitions into and how it develops over time as well, because the one in the store was almost empty. It had been sprayed so much, and this one is the 50 ml. So I'll see how it goes, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think you can use it most times of the year. Definitely autumn, winter, spring. Summer you possibly could do with the pendant of how hot it is. I wouldn't put it in a really hot environment or on a hot day, but if it's relatively warm because of the fresh openness, maybe a summer evening, because you get the freshness off the top of a fresh scent, citrusy scent, but you do develop and get that cognac through eventually with that cinnamon and caramel coming through in the mid, and then it soon balances them all out with a bit of cooling nature. It's quite funny how it has that. It does have that in there. I'm just smelling my hand. And it gets a bit woodier and woodier as time goes on, but not densely woody, not hard, earthy woodiness, just a pleasant mandarin woodiness, if that makes sense. But the orange isn't overly done. That's the beauty of this. It's not overly done. It's definitely not synthetic at all, which is something I really appreciate and really like from the Kilian fragrances. And you know me, guys, I like to buy my dupes and my clones, and I like to save money. And if I go and buy the OG from the brand, I've done it a few times recently now. I'll make a separate video of the times I've just gone out and bought the OG because the clones either didn't have anything available or couldn't get close to it. And when I go for it, I go for it because it's worth getting. And I'd say this is definitely, for me, never would say buy and buy safe. Always try, always sample, always test, always get a decant. But out of the Angel Share offerings, between the OG, between Parody, and between On the Rocks, this is the best of the bunch. And as it is so flexible, it can be used in any occasion. It's very unique and it will stand out. And it's such a pleasing scent profile. They've done a fantastic job in getting a citrusy, fresh fragrance and mixing it in so well rounded and so beautifully transitioning fragrance into the angel share DNA. So you still get that for your angel share lovers. And I wish I now wish I bought the 100 ml, but hey ho, I will enjoy this as much as I can. I won't be shy about using it because it was my treat for myself. And I believe I got some money off during with it being Black Friday with a voucher code applied as well. So it was the cheapest it's been ever before. And I'm so pleased to have it. Thank you guys for joining me. Let me know if you've got this On the Rocks from Angel Share. Sorry, from Kilian, the Angel Share version. And if you prefer this over the others, the parody or the original, and if you do know of any dupes that are forthcoming or coming or available, let me know. I wouldn't mind having a backup of a dupe or a clone once they start getting some in. However, I don't think they'll get anywhere near the OG. So that's the conclusion of this. Definitely give it a go if you haven't already, guys. Thanks for joining. I'll see you soon. Bye.